North, baby! Let's go!
We got Deontay, we got George Pickens, we got Calvin Austin, we got Patrick Freiermuth. Am I forgetting anybody? And we got Allen Robinson. I'm always forgetting. We got Allen Robinson now. Okay, he's been an all right. He's been a pretty good receiver at some points. Lately, he's okay. He's all right. He's been all right. But he's been a very good receiver at points. So he's a good veteran to have on the team. Okay. And so then I see this tweet from PFF page with 1.2 million followers. And it says per Tampa Bay Trey. So I don't know this guy. He has 70,000 followers. He's a columnist. Shout out to this guy, Trevor. But Trevor, buddy, Trevor, I disagree with you. I disagree with. I don't think we have a better receiving core than the Bengals, and I don't think we have a better receiving core than the Dolphins. You got me on Tyreek, and you got me on Jalen, and you got me on Jamar, you got me on T. Higgins, and you got me on Tyler Boyd. Now, as far as top receivers, we'll talk about that too. But for now, in terms of just the top names versus everybody else, okay, the Bengals, you got me, and the Dolphins, you got me. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're very good. But after that, the Raiders, they got Devontae Adams, who's great. Devontae Adams, he's amazing, okay? But after that, I mean, Hunter Renfrow, are you kidding me? Are we going to do this right now, Hunter Renfrow? I think they got somebody else too. I shouldn't completely sleep, but come on, we'll talk about it. And then the Bills, you guys got Stephon Diggs. You guys got what's his name? The Gabe Davis. You guys got Dawson Knox, and then you just drafted a new tight end. It's like, come on, man. And then to close it out, the Chiefs, who I think, they have Travis Kelce, who's amazing. But other than that, like, I don't think, player for player, they have a better core than us. And so if I don't believe 3 out of these 5 teams don't have a better core than us, that must mean the Steelers have a top 5 receiving core, right? That's what that means, right? So I'm saying it. The Steelers have a top 5 receiving core in the AFC. I'm saying it. So let's talk about it. Starting out with the Bengals. So the Bengals, like I said, they got Jamar Chase, who I think is better than the other receivers we have. Cool. But not by much. You're sleeping on George Pickens. Everybody's sleeping on George Pickens. He's coming into year 2 now. We'll see about him. But then they got T. Higgins, who, to me personally, out of bias, maybe not even bias. Let's look at it. Maybe not even bias, but to me personally, I'm not just gonna rank him ahead of Deontay. I don't care how many fumbles, I don't care how many drops, I don't care how many no touchdown seasons. Like, I'm not just giving it to Deontay. I'm not just doing Deontay like that. But T. Higgins is coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons conveniently as Jamar Chase shows up. Much like maybe, let's say, Juju Smith-Schuster, who I had, he wasn't a number 1 receiver. Remember, it was AB. He wasn't even good. That season he had, that anomaly season in 2018, it didn't count because AB was there. So that's what people say about Juju, but it counts for T. Higgins. Cool. So yeah, they got T. Higgins, who, maybe is better than Deontay, but I'm not saying it. I'm not giving it to him. And then between him and George Pickens, I'm taking George Pickens too. But T. Higgins is, a great receiver, so cool. And then Tyler Boyd, he's pretty good. So they got 3. Maybe we can have 3. We'll see about Calvin Austin or Alvin Robinson this year. Maybe we'll have 3. But for now, we have two really good players who are honestly, arguably, to me, better than T. Higgins. So they got Jamar. And then we got Deontay and George Pickens. We got the next 2. So, I mean, are they better than us? We'll see about that. Next, the Dolphins, who this is another team where it's like, potato almost. They got Tyreek Hill, who's probably, better than all our receivers. Cool. But then Jalen Waddle, who I'm giving it to Jalen Waddle. I'll give it to the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle had a pretty good season last year. Speed kills. He's definitely a really good guy. Definitely back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He's really good. Multiple touchdowns, 14 touchdowns, almost catching up to Deontay. I think Deontay only has he only has the 1,000-yard receiving season, but we know our offense has been pretty bad, and that's what we don't get. We don't get the benefit of the doubt a lot. We don't get the Matt Canada excuse like we really should be getting. Like, Deontay, Juju, a bunch of people, they've been getting nerfed in this system. Chase Claypool, maybe he's not an example, but a lot of receivers have just been getting nerfed in this system, man. And Deontay, there's no excuse for the last season thing, like the no touchdowns. Just, it's sad to say. I don't know how to even describe this, but like, is that Deontay's fault? Like, is it his fault he didn't get any touchdowns? Once again, we know we have the drops and shit. But was he just getting locked up like that? Is this like a drops thing? Is what I'm trying to ask. The 0 touchdowns, is this like he had a bunch of drops? Because people like really hold it against him, and it's like, fuck, like, I'm sure he tried to get a touchdown, like, but back to the overall point here. So the Dolphins in Cincinnati, based off everything I just said, where's the original? There it is. The Dolphins in Cincinnati, maybe. I didn't mention the tight end, which apparently is a factor because it has to be for Kansas City to be. If Kansas City is here, tight end is a factor, and I didn't mention either of the tight ends on the team. So we'll talk about that in a second. But cool, I'm willing to give that to them. But next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders and they just got Jacoby Myers. I didn't know that. Okay, this actually might be right. I didn't know they got Jacoby Myers. He's been okay. Jacoby Myers, I don't think is better than any of us, but once again, just by sheer numbers, just by sheer names on a list, sure, he's an addition. Hunter Renfrow, let's see. Hunter Renfrow, I think he had to have been hurt last year. 1,000. Man, what? All right. Hold on. Let me lock back in here. Let me get back on point. Let me summarize this. This right here, the Las Vegas Raiders having a better receiving core than us, is a lie. It is a bold-faced lie. It is a blatant lie. Because hold on, where's Deontay again? Deontay last year, no touchdowns, 800 yards, okay? 800 yards. Once again, we understand that they have Devontae Adams on this team. But Hunter Renfrow, he's had the 1,000-yard season. He's had 2 600-yard seasons. I'm a big fan of Hunter Renfrow, but what? And we haven't even mentioned George Pickens. I don't even have George Pickens' numbers up. I don't have Allen Robinson's numbers up. But come on. Hunter Renfrow, Allen Robinson, potato. You're talking about Allen Robinson here. He's our 4th receiver, But that's their number 2 or 3. Jacoby Myers isn't better than Deontay Johnson. Jacoby Myers isn't better than George Pickens. So how? Once again, how? And you know who they don't have anymore? They do not have Darren Waller. They do have Austin Hooper. But who cares about Austin Hooper? Because if we look at PFF, Pro Football Focus, it's time to activate my trap card, If we look at the same website, this is from a single person, but if we look at the same website that's promoting this tweet, we have top 15 tight ends ahead of the 2023 NFL season, okay? Top 15. Travis Kelce, we talked about him. He's literally Kansas City's only hope to be on this graphic. He's Kansas City's only hope. So cool. You got him. Mark Andrews, not on the graphic. George Kittle, not on the graphic. Dallas Goedert, NFC. Hawkinson, NFC. Patrick Freiermuth, number 6. Patrick Freiermuth, the 6th-ranked tight end in the NFL. Patrick Freiermuth, higher than Kyle Pitts, who went, number 2, 3, 4 in the draft? Kyle Pitts, a top 4 draft pick. Pat Freiermuth ranked higher than him as a 2nd-round draft pick. So that's what they ranked. The same website, okay? The same website. We pull up his numbers, and last season he had 700 yards, so close to 1,000 yards, 2 touchdowns, not really the best. And then the previous year, 507 touchdowns, so 9 touchdowns overall. I'm willing to bet better than Austin Hooper. I'm not better than Austin Hooper. Maybe Mike Gesicki better, but I mean, Patrick Freiermuth, they ranked him 6th. That's what they got him ranked. And then next highest on this list, on this graphic, Dawson Knox on the Bills at 12. So pretty much double back of what Patrick Freiermuth is. That's the next highest, and that's on the Bills, and they got Stephon Diggs. We'll talk about them. The next team, they're not even on the list. Okay? So we got a tight end who is only behind Travis Kelce, who's down here, okay? And then Dawson Knox, who's literally, he's ahead of Dawson Knox. And we'll talk about that. I haven't gotten to the Bills in a second, or I'll get to the Bills, but we haven't talked about them. But he's better than Dawson Knox, so we have a better tight end than the Bills off the rip. And now if we go to the receivers, okay? Hold on. Actually, you know what? Let me go through Buffalo real quick. So Buffalo, like I mentioned, they have Stephon Diggs, who, okay, you got me. Gabe Davis. If we look at his numbers, and I got to do this for the other teams because obviously I'm not. I can't like lock into the Bills like that. But I mean, great touchdown numbers, decent yard numbers. Great Gabe Davis, he's all right. But to once again, when we have a better tight end, you guys have a better receiver one, but we have a better tight end than you. And I'm saying George Pickens is better, bro. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, I'm biased, but George Pickens is better than every number 2 receiver I've named. Like, he's better. So if we have the best number 2 receiver, and we have the worst number 1 probably, but a pretty good number 1 in Deontay, at least going into the season. Next season, I think George Pickens will take over. But if we have the best number 2, the best tight end, and, a number 1 somewhere, I think they're sleeping. So if we go to, I don't even got to go to Kansas City, by the way. They have Travis Kelce, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, who played well, MVS. Like, MVS, are you kidding me? I'm sorry. I hate the slander. But MVS, and we're talking about Deontay Johnson, who I spent maybe 3-4 years, is like, yo, this dude is mad underrated. He's nice, because Deontay is nice. And I swear he's nice. But the 0 touchdown season, man, it confused everybody. But yeah, I'm not just giving that to MVS. Like, are you kidding me? And same thing with George Pickens. I'm not just giving that to MVS. I'm sorry. And any of these other people besides Travis Kelce, I'm not doing it. So it is what it is. I think they're sleeping. I really do think they're sleeping. And I haven't mentioned also Calvin Austin, who hasn't played, but a lot of people are very hype about. A lot of people are looking forward to Calvin Austin playing for us, are looking forward to his additions to the team. Last season in preseason, like, this dude was he was like a star in camp, and so he could potentially be a big piece for us. And so with all that said, I hate to say, like, the Steelers got a top 3 offense in the AFC. We really do. With the, like, I just can't. We got a better offense in the. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say offense, but receiving core just names, because we know how Matt Canada can do people. Receiving core just names. To me, we have the 3rd one in the league. And who knows, guys? Maybe I'm just fibbing. Maybe I'm just lying. Maybe, we are outside of the top 5 in the AFC. Because we do have Matt Canada. And Matt Canada has prevented us from having enjoyable football. He's prevented us from scoring in the first half. He's prevented us from scoring more than 20 points more than once a season. And so a lot of our players get nerfed. So who knows? But me as a Steelers fan, I'm being biased. This is a Steelers podcast. This is not a government-funded thing. I can be biased. I'm being biased. The Steelers are the team. The Steelers are the talk of the town. We got the best players. And T. Higgins is not better than Deontay Johnson. I'm sorry. T. Higgins is not better than Deontay Johnson. T. Higgins might not even be better than George Pickens, but we'll see about that. Jalen Waddle, same thing, but I won't die on the hill because, once again, he is not a division rival. Really, this isn't that serious. I don't have it. Like, I don't want to go through like the actual nitty gritty. No offense, but it's not really that big of a deal. But this tweet definitely did catch my eye, and I really do think people are sleeping. And I think our offense this year overall is gonna turn heads this year, because we can just fucking score, man. We can actually fucking move the ball. We can get first downs. It'll be perfect. And Deontay will be back in the Pro Bowl talk. George Pickens will probably move up into the Pro Bowl talk. Calvin Austin, we'll see what he will do. Pat Freiermuth will probably move higher up in the tight end rankings. He's number 6 now. Like, what a pick, what a draft pick by us. We're just, once again, we're nice. We're nice. And I'm tired of people sleeping. That is the overall point, man. I'm tired of people sleeping. Soon they're going to be waking up, but I'm trying to wake you up in June. Remember, guys, I'm trying to wake everybody up in June. Okay? So in February, when we're competing for a Super Bowl and Kenny Pickett wins his MVP after throwing 95 touchdowns and George Pickens has 50 and Deontay has 30, when that happens, just know June 25th, I tried to fucking tell you, so it is what it is. Next,